So this is Jordan Gray from Half Lit and Dope Living TV.
Yo, this is Tony Terry, and you're watching Dope Living TV.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy Jason Weaver, and whenever I'm back home in the Chi, I'm checking out Dope Living TV.
What's up? We watching Dope Living TV. What you watching?
Yo, welcome to Dope Living TV. Dope Living TV. Dope Living TV. We got it all. Come and see. Yeah. Let's see. Dope Living TV. Dope Living TV. Yeah. Check us out. Come and see.
Yeah, that's how we do it. It's Dope Living TV. What's up? It's your boy Greg Gray. How's it going? Welcome to the Monday. Look, the views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV Live are not necessarily the views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates. Having said that, man, let's get this show started. Steve.
What's going on, bro?
Chilling, man. So Steve been waiting patiently for me to get his picture, make him a part. Now he's official. We got him running on the promo. So, Steve's doing some great things too, man. So, welcome to the family, Steve.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
like you said, I've been part of the family a long time.
Yeah, but I just had to make it official. So I worked hard on getting that done up and making sure that you were in there, because it ain't right that the other people who ain't on there their faces be showing up. So yeah, had to make it right. Tonight, man, we got our family, or maybe a portion of the family. I don't know, but always, we got Brother Anthony Banks hanging out with us for this Relationship Roundtable. Melanin and Marriage is on there. So we're going to definitely make sure that we get some questions answered by these talented and insightful people. I want to say this too, man, before we get the show started. And by the way, that song was done up by Mo, none other than Mo, our boy. It came on. It's Greg, listen to this. Dope Living TV.
Oh, I like that.
Dope Living TV.
Real smooth.
Real smooth. And we'll play it all through the show one time, okay? But I want to say this, man. We talk about giving flowers to people, man, letting them know how much we care about them. I want to impress upon them, Steve, you can do so as well. Give them to them while they can still see them. Feel them, smell them, see them, Give it to them now, as opposed to waiting until they're gone and getting up in a place where the show begins and God took them too soon and blah, 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 all of that crap, man. Let them know how you feel about them now, okay?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Steve.
If you can give them their flowers now, give them a chance to feel the butterflies. When you give them their flowers, they'll feel their butterflies.
I'm saying, man, it's just so important that people understand how important they are to people in their lives, how many blessings are given to people just from you saying that, just from you expressing the fact that, hey, man, I appreciate you. Man, thank you.
And that makes a person feel good. And it lets them know. How you doing, Felice?
What's up, Felice? It lets them know. So having said that, man, welcome to the show, Relationship Roundtable. We do it every Monday. Y'all know how we do. We ask the questions that sometimes you don't ask, but we get the answers for them. Now, I am so glad that my friends from Melanin and Marriage come on every Monday and give these answers, because I can't give you the answers. I can't give you the right ones. I can't. Is what it is. Shout out to my boy Renato, man. He's going to be on tomorrow with some great inspiration as well. He's his platform is called Justice on Demand. They're watching. Appreciate you, bro. This is where you're going to be at tomorrow. They're going to talk about an event that they got. Him and his partner, they're going to be talking about an event that they have coming up, a gospel event. It's going to be very inspirational, okay? Y'all check it out, okay? Anyway, let's get started, man, okay? Always on point, always here, always ready to give up some great information. Always, man, look, y'all call him Anthony Banks. I call him Brother Banks, okay? Stephen took over and called him Brother Banks too, okay? But I started that. Brother Banks, okay? What up, Brother Banks?
Hey, how y'all doing today?
How you doing, Brother Banks?
Hey,
Man, it's good to see you brothers, man.
we
Steven,
here.
you done switched it up on them, man. You went straight philosophical.
What I can't. Anybody that know me, this is me.
He went to Zamunda to get that, man. Come on now.
Yeah.
He went all the way to the jungle. He got
It's
it,
good
though.
to see you, brothers, man.
Yeah, you as well, brother. Hope the weekend was good for you.
It was awesome. We got a lot of snow. So I've been out there, doing some young man's work.
That's right. Shoveling that snow. Shoveling
Yeah.
that snow. You make some money? Did you go to door and make that $20?
I wish we had some door-to-doors came to my house.
I know, right? And let's welcome our friend, okay? I love this woman. She is very inspirational. And she's here. She's here, Steve. Okay. What's up, Reverend Pat?
Hello. Yep, I'm here.
Hey.
Hey.
Reverend Pat.
Hello, Anthony.
She's here.
Hello, Steven.
How you doing?
She is here. Welcome, Reverend Pat.
Thank you. And it's cold.
Glad you giving us this time, okay? So, before she gets taken away.
No, I already made arrangements.
I got you, girl. We're gonna start it off, okay? And this question has to deal with blended families, all right? When you get married or when you in a relationship, sometimes there's kids involved, right? Mm-hmm. So this question is this: should a new partner have authority with children that aren't theirs?
Comes with many parts, depending on what age did that person come into that family, how old was the child. I mean, there's many different moving parts with that.
Okay, but you all got to live in the same house, okay? So there's a level of respect, right? That the kid is going to have to show that addition, but that addition has to show that kid respect too. They got to learn the people. Okay, but go ahead, Brother Banks, Reverend Pat. What do you say?
Well, for me, I'm living it. This is my second year, going on my second year of a blended family. Okay. And I can say this. It takes work on both sides. Because it actually took work for me to transition back to even having a younger child in the house. Because my daughter was out of the house, she's living her own life and stuff like that. So that was a transition. Plus the other child that was coming in was a teenage girl. So that took some adjustments too as well, because she's not my child. And so I have to instill certain rules within the house, certain outfits, clothing, bed clothing, you know what I'm saying? And then I have to help her to transition from living under just her parents' roof and let her get used to getting her footing on the ground that way. And then just kind of filter myself in, thereafter. I think the biggest part of that is allowing them to become comfortable in a new environment.
Okay.
That's
all right. Reverend Pat?
Well, I think it starts with an understanding of my husband and I, we're a big, huge blended family, and my daughters were much older when we got married, and they knew him from church, so they were familiar, but they still pulled him aside and said, now, don't let nothing happen to my mama, because you're going to have to answer to us. But,
I'm scared.
Reverend's kids threw them threats out.
Two girls, because I only have girls, both my daughters. But I think it also what is more important than anything is that the child or the children, no matter what age, if this is a serious relationship, that before you take those vows, that child has to be included in the courting intermittently. even if you just start small, just a little bit. But you cannot introduce any child to any new individual that's going to be in their home the day after you get married. You're asking for problems. That child has to know without a doubt that I don't use the word step. You're just as much a daughter to me as my biological daughters.
Thank you.
And I love you in the same way. So I'm never going to do anything to you that I wouldn't do to my own daughters. Everything that I would do with mine, and that's how I relate. My relationship is with my husband's daughter and my grandchildren. There's no, you couldn't tell them that I'm not their biological grandmother. I love them just like I love my biological grandchildren. And for them, I sat them down and said, there's a lot of things that you haven't experienced with me because you all live outside of my home and my other grandchildren, the other kids live with me. But I never want you to feel as if you are less than them. It doesn't matter to me. So I think that this is when we talk about dating others with children, we have the ability to discern. You know how that person responds to their children. If that's not acceptable to you with their children, then it can't be acceptable with my children. Now, the part of authority, if we understand from the start, what are my boundaries? What boundaries do I have with my children? What are the boundaries with yours? What is okay for me and what is not okay for me? And that's between the two grown folk, so that there's no division with the kid, because the kid can't come and say something to me that I'm going to approve that their dad won't, or vice versa. Does that make sense? But that's called communication prior to the ring. That doesn't happen after the ring. Because if you have a young man who's been with his mother and he's around the age of 12 or 13, and you're introducing a male into that home just off the rip, all of a sudden, this is my man, and we getting married, that young man has a whole different mindset. He's been the man in that household for a very long time. So the odds of some big masculine alpha male coming in that house and trying to run that household, and they've never even bonded prior to, you're asking for trouble. Because there's not any man, well, there are a few, real men will have a level that they expect that child to live up to, has respect, in the way of respect. You're going to have to respect me, but I have to be man enough to humble myself enough to let that child get accustomed to having a male in the home if there's never been a male in the home.
So I want to add to something that I think is important for blended families to understand.
Okay.
When a man and woman, when the adults decide that they were going to get married, that's the death of a relationship of your biological parents. That means that relationship is no longer coming back together. And so the children then, while you as two adults are walking down the aisle happily to be one in the newness of y'all lives, those children are losing something. And that's the hope and possibilities that their biological parents are coming back together.
A lot of these kids, I want to say this. This is what helps a relationship. And when I speak on relationship, I speak on God. You have to understand the foundation of relationship. God, spouse, children. And if you instill that foundation in your home, that has to be understood. But a lot of these kids today, Brother Banks, on what you just said, they don't have a thought of their parents ever being together because they wasn't together when they got married.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying right now, that's more of a minority part.
Yeah, but I had my experience is that the biological father is not only in their life, is actively present in their lives. And so,
but usually he got a wife. Because he's present, don't mean him and their mama getting back together, because usually he is present. But he's present because he's there taking care of his children.
well,
But
that doesn't change the thought process or the patterns of the children,
right.
because the children, the only relationship that they knew was their parents.
If what I'm saying
If
is
that were the norm.
if that was the norm, what I'm saying is 90% of these children being born don't know that because they were not born into a relationship. You
Yeah,
tell
well-
me they're born into relationship.
Well, I get you on that. I get what you're saying, where it's
four
it's not a
siblings
norm.
and four baby daddies.
Yeah, I get you. I understand that we're talking about a Brady Bunch type situation. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like two married people, two divorced people coming together once again with their families. But it's not always like that. I'm just speaking
That's
from.
not what I'm saying, Brother Banks. You
Let
take
me
it
get
to relationships. I'm talking about people that just had kids with people, and that's it.
Let me get some of these comments in, okay? Justice on Demand says, I think it's limited if you're not married. For him having 14 kids, I remember before some of their mothers were married. There's a limit on what her mate could do and say to his kids, okay? But after marriage has changed as well, now my person become their step parent. So prior to them becoming the step parent, there's no spanking. But if they're a positive step parent, I open the door. To be the step parent, to take a village, it takes a village to raise a child. Reverend Pat made a good statement too. I've been married before, and I married into a family that had kids, okay? And just Saturday, I put a post out saying, my daughter, happy birthday to my daughter. People didn't know I had a daughter. People were saying I don't have a daughter, you know, I got a stepdaughter. I said I would never call her step. Never. And I don't care what anybody says, okay? That's my daughter. You know, I'm married to the family, we bonded. That's my daughter, period. So I would never put her in that position, okay? Hey, Angie, how you doing, okay? Bobby. So everybody say it with me, Bobby.
Bobby.
I ain't gonna do you like that, Bobby. But hey.
Can I say this? We have to make sure that when we enter into blended marriages, there's a particular phrase that has to leave our thought process. When we get ready to say to that husband or that wife, my children, you're now drawing a boundary without even drawing a boundary. You're already saying to your spouse that your children, that person doesn't have any authority over. My children. We have to.
Our children.
Our children.
I was thinking the same thing.
To handle our
Right, so let me ask this question then, okay? Everybody say what's up to Gina, by the way. What's going on, Gina?
Hey, Gina.
Hey, Gina.
Hey, everybody.
So, given that situation, how much say should an ex have once a new relationship begins?
The ex,
Yes.
if we know how to end relationships correctly, we leave the door open for that ex because that's their child. We open the door so that the relationship between the new spouse and the father or the mother is one that is rooted and grounded in respect. You don't have
So
to.
how much say should they have, though? How much say should they have?
They so in what?
They should be able to get along and speak.
In what? They have the right to voice an opinion, and the three adults should be able to sit and have that conversation.
If I discipline that child, his child, and it's a justifiable reason for me to discipline the child, because I've been through this before too. Should he get a problem with it? He's not in the house. He's not in the house with me, okay?
He should not have a problem with it, especially if you guys could sit and have a conversation that's grown.
If you're going to discipline a child and that child's father is active in their life, I would think
call them first.
Male, you would have a conversation and say, look, this is a problem that I'm having, particularly with Shanae, Bobo, whoever. How should we handle this? There's a line that I drew with my daughters, and it was even with their dad. There was never to be, you're not gonna hit a daughter, because I was raised in that environment. So that was just my thing. You were not gonna hit, because a man, I'm not giving any man permission to discipline my child in that way. Now, if that child disrespects you, we both have a problem, you and I, because I don't expect that from my child.
So I'm gonna let the child say what they want to say. I'm gonna let them throw stuff. I'm gonna let them do whatever, because that man doesn't want me to corral that situation. Brother Banks, please put this in perspective.
So there's an age difference of how you really treat children, teens, and young adults. And that's even with your own children. But no child, whether they're blood, non-blood, or whatever, if they come into my household, they're subject to my rules. It's just that simple. But
That's
you'll know that before you drop them off and close the door.
Absolutely. Justice on demand is don't agree.
I shall not have a child in my presence that I can't control from running out in the street.
He can go to hell back to his daddy.
Well, I just think I'm an adult, and I'm a respectable adult. But I'm gonna respect them. Therefore, they should respect me. I don't think I should accept unconditional respect from children if I'm not respectful.
Yeah, but too, some things that I learned in these kids today, sometimes we are so direct that they think we're disrespecting them, because every time, because you say it, the way it's delivered is not necessarily the way it's received. And by being strict, they think you're being disrespectful. I come from that. I come from strict. And today, they think what we grew up as in strict and disciplined, they think that's disrespect because they've been catered to so much.
Mm-hmm.
I had a little child, man, one time I was dating someone, a little child called me the N-word. He was bad with it. He called me the N-word. He loved it. Evidently.
And can I tell you what I did real quick?
Well, hold on. It was part of his vocabulary, okay? And I told him, I grabbed him up. And his mom said, "What's the problem?" She saw me grab him. I said, "This dude called me the N-word." She said, "Oh, he just playing." Okay. Don't play with me. Do not play with me. That's not gonna happen. This dude was 6, 7 years old calling me the N-word. Okay, you get a 6 or 7 year old ass whooping. Okay, I'm sorry. That ain't gonna happen with me.
Because it's commonly said in this house, probably by 60-year-olds.
Then that probably wasn't a good relationship for you to be in.
Oh, I left.
Because first of all, I really believe that it is going to hinge on the dominant parent. So if you're dating a female that has children, it's going to be up to her to set those boundaries, because they have a new person coming in. And of course, kids are going to try that new person. I don't care what you say.
Go try them.
Or even if it's you're the dominant parent and you're dating a female, I think that it's that person's responsibility to set those boundaries and make sure, one, there's respect for the person, because by the time you coming around my children, we've been dating a long time. You know what I'm saying? We've been dating a long time. Otherwise, you're not coming around my kids anyway.
But that's an isolated situation, Gina. A lot of times, the pet, some of the women and the men introduce that child in.
Then they shouldn't. I'm a strong believer you don't do that, because you don't have a revolving door of men coming in and out with your children. But I have to say, one thing, Reverend Pat said, Reverend Pat, when I said what you said, they gave me so much slack, because I didn't allow my kids' father or stepfathers to whoop my daughter. And I said that. You guys got on me about that, because I'm like,
guys,
I didn't get on you. A woman should whoop.
Because I feel that that is teaching a woman that it's okay for a man to hit them at a very young age.
A woman should whoop
They got on me about it.
Yes. A woman
they
should
got
whoop
on
her
me
daughter.
about that.
That's how I feel. A woman should whoop her daughter. A mother.
I spanked my daughter when she was young. Don't get it twisted.
I mean, like you say, young. Now, but guess what? Now you can't spank your daughter when they're young.
No. I listen. I agree with what you're saying, Gina, because there's a cutoff. There's a cutoff when you stop bathing your daughter. There's a cutoff when you stop beating them. You know, because you have to allow your children to grow into their own dignity and their boundaries. And the way that you teach them boundaries, it starts right there in your household. Now, if your daddy stopped doing certain things because you're growing into this, then I have to allow you the opportunity to know your areas of privacy and how you should move about. But just to kind of touch on the dynamics of my situation is teenagers. I have a teenager and now a young college male. He and I don't get along that well. You know what I'm saying? We're cordial. Or we don't have the same relationship as her daughter. But with that being said, it takes the man in this relationship to foster respectful relationships with these children. The woman should not have to force feed her children to the man. He should be an equal partner in trying to build relationships. And
okay, so please, go ahead. Well, I was just going to read some of these comments because I thought I could catch a pause. Police said I told some children to quit running around in stores if it was a gym, and the father and I had it out. People applauded me. I am old school to the core and refuse to allow any children to be disrespectful in my presence. I'm sorry. Angie said I said that too, Gene. It was a minute before I introduced my kids to my husband. You can't spank your children nowadays because you will catch a case. Go ahead, finish your thought, Brother Bang.
Yeah, well, first of all, you can spank your kids. You just can't leave marks on them. Just want to let you know that. That's straight out of the handbook of and the laws. So I just want to put that out there.
Right.
But you say spank, but you just used the word beat a second ago, Brother Banks.
Yeah, I mean, well,
if you beat them, you leaving the mark.
I'm just telling you the law.
And he said boundary. I mean, there's a certain time. There's a cutoff time. You know when that cutoff time is. I knew when it was time for my cutoff time with my son. When he had that one tear in his eye like Denzel in Glory, and he took it, and he just looked at me like, okay. And I'm like, all right, well, it's time to stop because I ain't gonna get my ass beat by my cat. Anyway, Angie said she agrees. I'm spanking all kids, Angie said, okay. Let me move on to another question.
That's right, Angie.
Let me move on. Okay, so you're in a relationship or a marriage, whatever you were in. And you know, everybody has certain needs and wants that they have or expect in a relationship. How do you communicate your needs without making your partner feel defensive?
Repeat that last part of the question.
How do you
communicate your needs without making your partner defensive?
Because you never start the sentence with "you make me feel like." Because when you say to me, "You did this," I'm automatically defensive. My defenses are going up. So when there's something that I need to communicate, I say, I don't think you meant it the way I took it, but this is what that made me feel like. So that the door is open for him to say, well, you took that all the wrong way. That's not okay. So we've had it's a little bit different with us because I've had to be very vulnerable with my husband about experiences as a child that are triggers for me. So I had to learn to be vulnerable about this is why maybe I respond this way or that way. So I have to keep myself in check. And when whatever I need, I have to understand how I need to present it to him, if that makes any sense. I'm very conscious of that. But when we approach our loved ones or the people that we love as if we're accusatory, you're going to shut down. If I shut down, he's going to shut down. So we're not going to get anywhere. Does that make sense?
Well, yes, Reverend Pratt. Because earlier when I said how it's delivered is necessarily not how it's received. So, and people used to get offended how I say something. And you used to have to sit back and think, well, I didn't mean for it to be like that to you. But how you deliver it, somebody may receive it as, hurt, disrespect, just pure mean.
So are there actions as opposed to words?
So I'll say it like this. Don't lie to yourself by trying to protect somebody else's feelings. If you sad, you sad. If you mad, you mad. If that's how they made you feel how you feel. We do too much by trying to protect people from not being offended or defended or getting defensive. Sometimes you can go as less confrontational as possible. But when you blaming somebody for something or you shining a mirror in their face, they're going to be defended anyway because they don't want to be wrong. So you may as well, I'm not saying that you should attack them with full aggression. I'm saying that you should be as direct as possible about how you feel about what they said or what they did.
Well, I agree with you, Brother Banks, but it's not being I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is you just have to understand their reaction could be anything. That's all I'm saying. How it's delivered ain't necessarily how you think it's gonna be received.
But it was your delivery and your actions that made me feel this way. So why would I need to coddle telling you that I'm hurt?
Well, I said something to a friend, and I did not think it was going to make this woman say the things that she came back and said to me.
But you're never going to know right off the bat anyway, because when you're coming out, you don't know how this person's going to receive it anyway. You won't know
exactly, and
it's done.
And it took about a month for that woman ever to speak to me again.
But you know what? I agree with Mr. Banks, because the person is probably going to go on defense no matter how you deliver it. Because, either way, they're going to take it as you're saying they're doing something wrong or they're doing something to you, no matter how you deliver it to them.
And we all just did the same thing, y'all.
But what I'm saying, Gina, is this, okay? Yes, if you verbally say this, they're going to take offense to it. They're going to feel some kind of way, okay? But is there a way to communicate this through action?
You can help somebody.
The action is to tell them. That's the action to me.
Or can you show them that, hey, this is the way I want to be treated by the way that you by your actions, by your body language.
To me, it takes when that person gets alone in the room by themselves and they can sit and think about it. It comes with self-evaluation.
Sometimes you got to push that self-evaluation to shine in the mirror. So that they can understand what that. Every action gets a reaction.
Yeah, but I can't I can try to push self-evaluation on someone else, but it comes when they're ready to evaluate their situation.
But I need them to evaluate how they treat me, not just, how they treating themselves.
But do you hear how you sound? Right now, you would put me on the defense.
Right.
Because no. Because you come across as if this is what you did to me and I want you to own up to it.
Well, yes, accountability.
I was speaking from the other person's point of view. You were speaking from the person demanding. I'm speaking from the person who's receiving it.
I'm talking about Mr. Banks.
No, I'm talking about Mr. Banks too. I'm with you, I'm talking about Mr. Banks.
Boy, they own you, bro, Banks.
They pile it on, because I can tell you.
If you're in a relationship with someone, you should understand that person and how that person is going to react when you approach them a certain way, right or wrong. You should know.
You know what buttons to push.
You should know. I really try hard to think, because a lot of times when we want to just tell somebody what they did to me, you know what you're doing? You're reacting. You're not responding. You didn't take a minute to stop and think. You didn't take a minute to say, okay, I'm in my feelings right now. Lord, how should I handle this? because there's a difference between reacting to what I did to you and responding to what I did to you. Same difference. I'm going to give that same respect to my husband. Do we get it up right all the time? Of course not. We're women. We're emotional people. We'll pop off for no reason, just because we felt like it sometimes. But on the norm, I try my best not to react, because when I react, I'm not in the spirit. When I react, I haven't taken the time to think about what just happened. I'm just reacting. But when I respond, I've stepped away from the situation, and I'm looking at the situation. How am I responding, and how do I approach him? If what I felt, because I can't monitor what you say or how it's going to make me feel. My feelings are coming from a totally different place that you know nothing about. So I need to gauge my response, and why did I respond? So action, he said, what action do you take? If you're in a situation where you think you're going to approach someone in the wrong way, your first action is to stop, think, assess, pause, and if necessary, pray. Because why am I going to react and blow something up into something that's going to end up being bigger than it even?
But you all are saying it as if my reactions are just overly aggressive. I don't have to take days to respond to something that made me feel a certain way. I know, I'm just giving an example. I don't need to. Sometimes I don't need to take a pause to know right then and there how I feel, and to help you to take accountable for your actions. Again, the question comes: how do you confront someone without defending them? But the part that we're forgetting,
the part should never come in.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Yes, but the part that we're misunderstanding is that something happened that person had to respond to. And so you have to be just as aggressive and courageous to be accountable as you was when you was wrong.
Now
I need you to have that same energy in apologizing the same way you popped off.
You know, in a weird way, that kind of makes sense.
What was said, though.
Let's move on.
That's but no.
What we got to move on for, Rev?
Not move on yet, because where he just went.
That approach.
No, Brother Banks loves.
You don't have to like the approach.
He changes the direction of questions before he can give a different answer. He does that, and he does it quite often. I love when you do it, Brother Banks. That's a trademark of you. But
because I didn't. Greg's question was not about confrontation. Greg's question was
right. He changed the whole question. He changed the whole
taking that to a whole nother level. Greg said, "How do you approach a person without offending them or putting them on the defense when they've made you feel a certain way?"
The answer you just said last.
Exactly. But it sounded good coming from you, Reverend Pat.
Wait a minute. No, it's because it's my truth. It's always going to sound good. Anyway, bottom line, then he added, what is your action? I gave my action in that situation. If my spouse made me feel a certain way, I'm going to take the time to get out of my feelings, not react on the impulse, and take the time to analyze, was it me or was it him? Was it something he said that triggered something else in me? Maybe he didn't mean it that way. And then I respond. Now, whether that's 10 minutes, 30 minutes, or a day, to me, that's respecting my relationship, period.
It's the delivery, okay? Welcome to the Reverend Pat Show, okay? Because
it's the delivery.
Evidently, I didn't deliver it the right way, okay? So,
no, it is.
My bad.
That's just like with comedy. I can give a joke one way and it not be funny, and I can deliver it a different way and it's funny, and yet it be the same joke. So it's all on delivery. Brother Banks, you could say a lot of times, Brother Banks, we say the same thing and it's just in different deliveries. You say it so.
Hey, Reverend Pat. Reverend Pat, I like the way you brought the question out too, because it was smoother. It was like floating on air. Thank you very much. Okay, I have another question though, if y'all don't mind.
Yeah. Hey, these some hot topics, man. These some hot questions.
Hey, bro,
And we only got one day
I'm coming in every week now. I'm telling y'all, now that I know that y'all got this seat on a Monday, I'm coming in with some questions. And the same energy. I love this energy, okay? Because we need to let people know there are varying opinions and varying sides to every question that's out there, okay? Nobody's, and I don't think anybody's wrong, all right? You know, we just have different opinions in different situations that we have. So this is great conversation, all right? Thank you, Melanin and Marriage, for coming through every Monday, hanging out with us, making sure this is happening. We ain't gone yet, though. I got another question. Everybody talks about, I want to be accountable. We should be accountable for this. We should be accountable for that, okay? In a relationship, is accountability the same as control?
Ooh, that's a good question.
No.
Accountability is an individual self thing. Control is as if you controlling a person. That's how I took what you said.
Yeah, because
I don't see how they could be one and the same.
Yeah.
I just don't see how, because accountability is actually looking at yourself.
Exactly.
And determining things about yourself, whereas control is you trying to get somebody to be a certain way or to act a certain way or treat you a certain way or not be able to, do things. So to me, they're not one and the same.
But Gina, if you're telling someone you need to be accountable in a relationship now, you need to be accountable for the things you said you was going to do. You need to be accountable for what you're doing right now. Is that other person controlling them?
No, if there's an expectation, if we go into relationships with expectations, I'm not talking about dreams. I'm not talking about fairy tales. I'm talking about you literally have sat with that person while you're courting, which they don't do anymore. So this can't be done through text or messenger. If you're courting and you are explaining explicitly, these are my standards, this is what I expect from you, and that person says the same thing to you, okay, then how do I hold you accountable? That question was twofold because it sounded as if you were saying, what about accountability of myself? Accountability for my actions requires that I self-examine, and we have to do that often. That's not something you do once a year. We self-examine and we say, okay, this is me, no one else. When I examine myself and I find myself falling short in the areas that I want to improve in as a wife, then I hold myself accountable because that's me. That's just me. I'm going to do that. I want to always be a better wife today than I was on yesterday.
But I'm not really talking about individual accountability. I'm not really talking about.
I got you on that.
What happened?
I'm not really talking about individual accountability.
Okay, and that's what I got too, Reverend. That's why I responded the way I did.
Yeah.
So, but if you're asking me, how do I make my spouse be accountable for the things that he's doing? That's not control. Not to me.
To me, if you're holding somebody accountable, that's because they've said they're going to do something or they promised something. And to me, that's not controlling. This is me reminding you, you said you would do this. And that's holding them accountable to me.
To their word. Yeah, and I understand
their word.
If my husband said he's going to stop at the store at 6 o'clock and he gets here and it's 8 and he didn't stop at the store, I thought you were going to the store. That's accountable. That control is me calling him every 10 minutes from the minute he left the house all the way to the store and back and saying,
"Oh, you should have been back at 5 o'clock."
Or looking at the GPS, like, why did you make that turn? Where you going?
So I have a different perspective on this, and I think it's a great question because sometimes we hold a set of expectations for someone that we hold them to the letter. And sometimes that accountability can be controlling when you are trying to force those those things. Well, you said you was going to do this. Well, you said you was going to do this. And sometimes you don't take into accountability the capacity that of the other things that the person has to contend with in their life or in their day, that you can't be.
How does that make it controlling, though?
You're in a marriage.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because when you constantly put in those things at the forefront and shining a light on it, it's shining a light on their shortcomings, but you're not trying to. You're telling them, okay, well, you said you was going to do this and do this, but then what about the other stuff that I had to do that you didn't do? And so you start to create a pattern.
Now, wait, whoa.
But that's on you. Why did you say you was going to do that?
Listen to what I'm saying.
What you just said is on you, Brother Banks.
Listen to what I just said. What
I did listen to it, and them two women did too.
Okay, well, listen to what I just said. I specifically said this. If I have to take up the slack for the things that you didn't do, but you still on my back about the things I need to do or said I was going to do, you're not taking into accountability your shortcomings, but you're focusing on mine.
You always throw a Roman numeral in there, a different one.
Brother Banks.
So now you didn't went into
Mr. Banks.
You didn't went into what she didn't do.
Go ahead, Gina. I love
that. Ain't what we was talking about. Because you always got that.
I don't expect anything from you if you never tell me you're going to do something. If you never do it, I'm okay. But if you tell me you're going to do something, then I expect it.
Because you didn't complete it.
You should be held accountable.
What she didn't do. That's just what you just said. Because you didn't complete what you said you were going to do.
That's not what I said.
Oh, yes, he did.
It is.
Oh, yes, he did.
Yes, you did.
He said, if you're going to ask me about what I didn't do, you're not taking into account the things that I did that you didn't finish. You're pointing out my shortcomings and you're not talking about yours. Oh, yes, he did. And
you better listen to this show tomorrow.
Related to the question that I asked, is accountability the same as control? You're not hearing what he's saying. You're not hearing what he's saying.
It is not.
He's saying it is. And I'm saying
no, that's not what he's saying.
What I'm saying to you,
Brother Banks, you're not gonna win tonight. You know that, right?
No, I know. This is, but it's okay. It's okay. But I think sometimes we get stuck on one road sometimes, and I can look at accountability as me taking, as I spoke on before, me taking accountability for my actions or how I made someone feel. That's accountability. But then there's another definition to accountability. Something that you said that you was going to hold me to. I told you to put that light bulb in a week ago, right? But you didn't take
into account. Whoa! I told you.
Oh, Steve, stop!
Why didn't you ask? Yeah. Why you got to tell?
No. I'm just giving you.
You be going back to some Stone Age, really husband wife stuff when you talk sometimes, and I listen to that.
No, but I'm not speaking about me talking to my spouse. I'm speaking in general.
But I'm just speaking in general. I mean, speaking in general. Just like that.
I want to hear his point.
I'm just making a point. Yeah, I'm just making a point of a conversation, and y'all act like I'm a caveman or something. I'm not talking to my wife like this. Let's just get that clear.
I want to hear his point because I totally disagree with it so far. So let him explain.
And I got you. And so my point is,
I got another question.
My point is, when you hold when someone is accountable to something that you say, okay, expectations, accountable to expectations, because that's what we're really talking about. If you are holding them accountable to those expectations and they fall short, but you're constantly saying you're not doing this, you're not doing this. However, there's other aspects of their life that does not come into play when you're focusing on those one expectation or one set of expectations. And that's what I'm saying.
And so you feel that's control?
I do.
Okay. Well, we can agree to disagree, Mr.
I agree.
Greg, can I please respond? Please let me respond, Greg. Please.
Push the button.
We are confusing.
Reverend Pat.
We're confusing the way. When you put the word expectation into accountability, you're twisting that conversation, because what I expect of you has nothing to do with my holding you accountable for the things that you said you were going to do. That's not an expectation. That's not me expecting you to be Superman. That's me holding you accountable for the things that you said you were going to do. The expectations that my husband may have in his head of me have nothing to do with the things that I've said I'm going to do. If I said dinner is ready at 6 o'clock and he gets here and there's nothing cooked, he can hold me accountable for not keeping my word. Now, if I never said dinner was going to be cooked and he expects dinner on the table every day at 6 o'clock and we never agreed to it, then you're holding me to an expectation that I never agreed to. But when we're in a marriage, there's no such thing as you didn't do this, so I'm going to do that. Or the woman that you're describing is a nag. That's a nag.
Right.
That's not a woman. That's not a marriage. That's a nag. Because she's holding you accountable for something you never, ever, 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 ever said you were going to do. She just expects it. You're a man, I expect you to cut the grass. You're a man, I expect you to fix the toilet. You're a man, I expect you to... That's unreasonable because it was not agreed upon in a marriage. That's just how I see a marriage. We're partners.
Okay. Somebody got something playing in the background. Okay, I don't know who it is. All right, but that's okay, because we come to the end anyway. All right, but I want to say this, Reverend Pat, it's good to have you back on the panel, handling your business. All right.
That's right. Next week. That's right, Reverend Pat. That's right.
And Bro Banks, it's always good to have you. I didn't know they was gonna beat you up like they did tonight, man. So
listen, I'm built for it. I'm Teflon.
It's always good to have you, Brother Banks.
There's not a conversation that I run away from.
Reverend Pat, real quick before we get out of here, is there anything you want to say?
About what?
Okay, that's a no.
She said, hold on, she said it all.
No.
Just a last word, just a quick last word, brother. You know how we do every. See, when you miss these weeks, you forget what we do. Okay, we go around, let everybody say what you got to say.
We gonna go around. Okay. Look.
No, that's all right.
I bottom line. I feel like marriage, relationships, whatever, are all rooted and grounded in how you start them. Whatever you start, that's what that person is going to expect from you. Period. If you don't wash dishes, don't wash dishes. And then he won't expect you to wash dishes. Mm-hmm. Everything that we do in relationship boils down to what were the boundaries or what was the communication before we got to the point that we are at. It's just that simple. It's hard, but it's that simple. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying that for marriage or a relationship to work, we both have to know what we're coming into. Honestly.
Real good. Thank you, Reverend Pat. Brother
Banks. So I'll say this. The great topics, great discussion, great energy. And just to expand on the topics of accountability, blended families, I'll say this. If you're in a marriage or in a relationship that you want to have a long-term relationship with, have family meetings. Family meetings that are a round circle conversation. And I say a round table conversation, meaning that no one is higher than the other person. And so allow your children to speak their full heart with respect. Allow each adult to speak their full heart with respects to one another. And so that you can express how you feel. You can express those things that you want to be accountable for. And you can also see how those kids are blending into the families that they are new to.
Okay, real good. Steve.
Okay, Brother Banks, I hear you on that one. And like I say, it all depends on the ages too, kids. But when it's big blended family, I wish the best, but the foundation of it always has to be the Lord and Savior. Because to have a relationship, to know a relationship with him allows you to have a relationship with someone else. So we must understand that God is love and love is God.
Gina?
Yes, I want to speak on blended families too, because it's difficult to go into a relationship when you have children, whether there's young children, teenagers, even sometimes when they're adult children, it's difficult. And so I think I would agree wholeheartedly with Reverend Pat. It's all what you start off with. If you start off with letting those children disrespect that person, it's going to continue. But if you make sure that you, as the person, there's going to be the one person in that relationship that is the I don't want to use the word authoritarian, but they're the ones, the disciplinary. And so that person has to put that groundwork down, even if it comes to telling those children, look, you don't have to like them, but you got to respect them. You don't have to like her, but you have to respect her, and you have to go in with eyes wide open on both sides. Make sure that person is not doing things to your children that you wouldn't do to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's too many of them that's letting outside people come into their family with their children, and then things are happening to their children. You can't have closed eyes with that. You have to make sure you open your eyes and make sure that you identify anything that doesn't look right or sound right when you bring in another person into that relationship. And I'm going to tell you again, ladies, you better get to know that man before you bring him around your children.
Yeah. Hey, look, y'all.
Take them by your mama's house first.
Pat, if you don't stop this is my time now. Oh, my God.
We always snatch your time.
Oh, my God.
We can snatch your time. You the host.
I did it on purpose.
What you want to say?
He the host.
Go ahead, Reverend Pat.
The host don't get any time.
Go ahead, Reverend Pat. You got something to say? Damn.
Is that control, Mr. Banks? Is that control?
You and me got beat today, okay? You and me got beat.
Yeah.
Mr. Banks don't say that's control.
Reverend Pat, next week, I'm going to be in control, and I'm going to hold accountability, all right? I'm going to do all
I'm going to stay muted. No, you're
not. I'm going to make sure that you have your talk. But everybody, really, relationships are what they are, okay? We grow and we learn in our relationships how to treat one another. We have to be accountable to the other person's feelings. We have to hold them accountable as well to our feelings. All right, it's a give and take, and so nothing is perfect. Okay, but if we work at it, work hard at it, we can cohabitate. We can live a peaceful life together. All right, maybe not on this show, but we can live a peaceful life together. All right. Anyway, tomorrow, man. Tomorrow we got a great show, man. There's a couple of gentlemen coming on. One is his name is William Pierce. He's the founder and CEO of the Second Chance Outreach, and he's doing his part by creating events that in his words, use art to transform. And then Bernardo Malone is part of Justice on Demand, and it's a nonprofit organization that assists families in their darkest hour, gives them comfort. Two great entities coming together. They got an event that's going to be happening in February. They're going to talk about that event in February. We'll learn all about them tomorrow, but tonight, man, thank you, Melanin and Marriage, for coming through. Give us your information again. Of course, Reverend Pat, give your information.
And I was going to just say Melanin and Marriage. Just check out the digital magazine. That's all I was going
I want you to say, Reverend Pat, I was giving you this moment, but Steve is a new contributor right now. Steve, talk about it.
Yes, he is.
Well, I'm just looking forward to being a contributing writer to Melanin and Marriage, and look forward to an intro to who I am in March's digital episode. March's digital.
however you got to put it. I don't know how to say it. Digital magazine.
I know. Got you frustrated tonight. Look at that.
Yep.
Yeah, this Melanin and Marriage magazine is a digital platform magazine that really has a host of relationship dynamics, from spiritual to single life. It gives you some entrepreneurship, some financial advice, even some romance. So we cover all grounds of relationship aspects, and we look forward to newcomers that want to get on board with the Melanin and Marriage. We have an awesome chief editor. And if you have a small business out there or a large business that you want to promote through the magazine, hit us up.
And every Monday, these fine people come on and help us out with this relationship roundtable. All of these questions, these were not my questions. Didn't find these questions. These were questions from viewers. All right, so I appreciate you guys for sending me these questions. We come in with that heat on Mondays, y'all, because we want everybody to have this. The great relationships that we know that everybody should have. Okay, God didn't put us on this earth for us to be arguing and this and that. We want to get to a point where we can be peaceful with one another and you know, be together on a good note.
And on that note, I appreciate all sides of the conversation, because Mr. Banks bring a different outlook, and I think that's a good thing, because you know, everything is not perfect. And there are some people who's going through a situation in the way that he's putting it, just like they're going through the situation in the way that I may be putting it, and Steve and Reverend Pat. So, you know, I just like the fact that they're, you don't count. I just told you that earlier.
I mean, you facilitating us, you know what I'm saying? So we feel you.
Reverend Pat, quit laughing.
Okay, you could end the show now.
On that note, y'all join us tomorrow. Okay, it's gonna be a fun show. And Wednesday, we want to talk to Gina Gatson. She didn't know this. Okay, we want to talk to Gina about the Distinguished Authors Guild and everything that's going on with that. I want to know the history. Okay, Gina, we want to know everything. Even though I know it, I want the people to know how important it is that platform has, what it's done. You know what I'm saying? We want to talk about it. All right, if you don't mind.
All right.
It's all about you on Wednesday, all right? But tomorrow, y'all tune in, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. It's DopelivenTV Live, okay? Y'all did hear the beginning of the show today. Got that new intro, and sorry, Steve, the old intro's still on here. I didn't get a chance to get to the closing, but I'm gonna get there, all right? Anyway,
all right.
Reverend Pat, what you laughing at? She just giggling over there. Reverend Pat, I hold myself accountable for not knowing the ending. I did the beginning. I didn't know the ending.
But I'm not trying to take control. I have no control.
Man, silence your elephant in the background, all right? There's an elephant in the room. We want
to... No, they don't forget nothing.
That's a good one.
Be accountable.
Hey, man, look, it's DopelivenTV Live. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you, Melanin and Marriage. Okay, peace, y'all.
Peace.